The News Line.
Hello and welcome back to People's TV. In today's news commentary, we turn our attention to a major development in the Middle East. The Israeli government has ratified a ceasefire agreement with the Palestinian militant group Hamas earlier today, 10th, setting the stage for fighting in Gaza to be halted within 24 hours and for Israeli hostages to be released within 72 hours thereafter. Reuters broke the story roughly 5 hours ago, confirming what many had hoped for, a brief pause in a brutal conflict that has tested the resolve of both nations. In the meantime, the IDF has taken precautionary measures to prevent Gazans from entering Gaza City until the Israeli cabinet formally approves the ceasefire. Israeli forces reportedly fired warning shots to keep civilians from advancing, maintaining control on the ground pending the cabinet's decision. Hamas, on its part, has also instructed Gazans to stay back until official clearance is given, a rare moment where both sides, for once, seem to agree on something. Concerning the negotiation teams, although the U.S. representative for the ceasefire talks has already arrived in Israel, the Israeli delegation has remained in Cairo to continue discussions on the prisoner exchange terms. Hamas has so far presented two lists of Palestinian prisoners it wants released in exchange for the Israeli hostages. Israel rejected the first list due to the inclusion of several high-profile terrorists. The second, an amended version, still contains controversial names, yet with the ceasefire now ratified, it is reasonable to assume that the Israeli negotiation team ultimately approved the revised list, a compromise likely made under immense international pressure. Egypt, meanwhile, celebrated the ceasefire in its own way, flying the Palestinian flag from two military helicopters. A symbolic gesture, perhaps, but a highly unethical one for a nation that claims to be a neutral mediator. If this is Egypt's idea of diplomacy, then neutrality has clearly taken a back seat to theatrics. In an unfortunate development, however, Sergeant First Class, Res. Michael Mordecai Nachmani, 26, was shot dead on Thursday, shortly after Israeli and Hamas negotiators signed the deal in Egypt, before the ceasefire had even formally taken effect. The tragic incident casts a grim shadow over what was meant to be a turning point toward de-escalation, reminding the world that in this region, peace is often written in fragile ink. It is also reported that the IDF is preparing to withdraw its troops from the Gaza Strip. The IDF Chief of Staff has ordered a gradual pullback following the ceasefire, marking a symbolic yellow line that defines the temporary boundary. The area behind the yellow line will remain under IDF control until the ceasefire goes into full effect, as only the first phase of the agreement has been finalized. Accordingly, the IDF is now working to pull its troops behind this line. A day after the hostages are released, the second phase of peace talks, part of President Trump's proposed peace framework, is expected to begin. Egypt has reportedly voiced concern to the U.S. negotiating team regarding the IDF's continued presence in Gaza after the ceasefire, demanding a complete withdrawal. The IDF, however, has flatly refused, citing security concerns. Israeli officials reminded mediators that the Philadelphi corridor has historically been used for weapons smuggling, asserting that a full withdrawal could once again endanger Israeli citizens. Hence, Israel has made it clear that it will not withdraw troops immediately. Meanwhile, Europe, true to form, has chosen not to commend the ceasefire deal but instead to revive its familiar rhetoric about a sovereign state of Palestine. In a related development, Israel has announced that its mission to return the remaining 48 hostages under the ceasefire will be called Operation Return to Their Border. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office stated that the name was inspired by a verse from the biblical book of Jeremiah, traditionally read during Rosh Hashanah, in which God promises that the children of Israel shall return to their border after exile. The passage, often invoked in Israeli culture, symbolizes restoration and the end of conflict. According to the Prime Minister's office, the operation will focus not only on rescuing the hostages but also on ensuring that those who perished in captivity are given honorable burials. Lastly, the footage now circulating on social media shows a convoy of Red Cross vehicles en route to receive the hostages, tasked with ensuring their safe transfer. In the background, Gazans can be heard applauding and cheering, a sound that, depending on one's perspective, marks either relief or irony in a land where peace rarely outlives the headlines. If this report helped you see the situation on the ground clearly, don't keep it to yourself. Like, share, and subscribe to People's TV, where truth has no agenda, and facts speak louder than spin.
Subscribe us for more details.